Okay, so we're gonna, this light doesn't work, okay? So I've changed the bulb, so it's obviously not the bulb. So we're gonna take this light fixture off and see what's going on. I already loosened all this, but this is basically what you do. You make sure the light switch is off. If you're really concerned about the electrical, just turn the power supply off. So we're gonna unscrew this and pop this out, okay? So see what's going on here? You can see right here what's wrong with it. The ground wire is all rusted. Do you see it over here, John? The ground wire is rusted out, see? So what probably happened is the water's coming from the top deck and it's rusted out the ground wire. So make sure the switch is turned off. If you're really worried about electrical, cut the power completely. Find the breaker that controls these lights here and turn that off. Then you really don't have to worry about it. So we're going to clean this out. We're going to put a fresh new little light fixture on and show you how to do that in a second. Okay, turn it off. Stay still though. Okay, so I undid the ground wire. See, it's all rusted. That's probably the cause. But instead of just replacing the ground wire, I'm just going to take this old piece of junk light fixture out. Make sure the switch is turned off. Okay? So we're going to disconnect those. Junk. Throw it away. Okay? Of course, we do have a good bulb here. So we're going to be able to test it out with a new bulb. Okay, so I'm just going to clean this out a little bit. These wires look really good still. You look at the tip if they're rusted, just give them a little, sand them a little bit with some steel wool. Okay, cut. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to put this one together here, black to black. It's really simple stuff. We'll do black to black. Okay. And we're going to tape it up and make it all nice and pretty after, but I want to make sure everything works first. We're going to do white to white and then ground to ground. Cut. Watch your fingers are in the way. Okay, so now I'm going to take this piece off. It comes with the new light has a new one of these guys, right? Which is just the center bolt that holds it to the house, and then the two sides, and then the ground's going to go back to here. Both grounds. Ground from the house, from the electrical from the house, and then the ground from the light switch. So this piece is all rusty. We're going to take this off and put a new one on. Okay, so we're ready to go to put that back together. We got the wires taped up, ready to go with the electrical tape. We got the new brace on there. We got the new ground wire on there. Go ahead and hit the switch real quick, John. Okay, so John, go ahead and hit the switch. Make sure the light works. Okay, it's one of those fluorescent lights. Go ahead, turn it on. Fluorescent lights takes a little while to light up. Okay, so next we're going to replace that switch. There's an old switch in there. It's about 20 years old. So we're going to go out to the breaker box, turn the breaker off. We'll have to find the breaker that controls this light switch before we change this switch, just to be safe. Okay, so none of these are the right breaker. It usually has a list next to it that says what they're for. None of these control the downstairs outside deck lights. So we're going to go to my other breaker box, which is upstairs in the it's actually in the bathroom. Okay, this is in our bathroom up here, behind the picture. There's another breaker box. You have to find out where your breaker boxes are in your house. So we have the other plugs here, and right there it says lights and plugs, second floor, lights first floor bedroom, lights first floor lights and plugs. So we're gonna make sure we get the right breaker, because we're gonna turn the breaker off, turn the light switch on, and if the light doesn't come on, that means that we got the right breaker. Okay, so I went downstairs, I turned the light on, and I had my son turn off this breaker here, number 15. Number 15 says first floor lights and plugs. Okay, pretty common sense there, but you still want to make sure. So I turned the light on. I yelled up to him to have him turn the number 15 breaker off. He turned it off, and the light went off. So now we know the power's out to that switch that I'm going to change. So now it's safe to change the switch. Okay, so you could pick up a light switch for, there's no lights in here, John, we turned them all off. Oh. You can pick up a light switch for about $2. You can get fancy ones, whatever. So $2 or $3 for a light switch. Okay, and what we do is we're going to take the cover off. We're going to take the plate off to expose the switch. If you're not sure, have an electrician do this. But if he does, have him, if your house is kind of old, have him change out all your switches for you, because these don't last that long. I mean, after 15 or 20 years, maybe even less than that. So now we've taken the plate off. We've exposed the old switch. Okay, so there's the old switch. We're going to take the 2 screws off here. We know there's no power to this anymore, and because we turned the breaker off. And we're going to pull it out, and we're going to just match exactly the wires from that to the new one. Okay? It's a great little tool to have. If you don't have one, even just to change the plates, itself, these are great little tools to make it easier. Of course, this is all full of paint, but you just go like so. Okay, so I got this out now. You want to go in here, you want to kind of clean it out, make sure everything looks good. We know the switch is bad. There's our switch. We know it's bad. So basically we're just going to take the new switch, make it easier for yourself, and get one identical where everything's the same. See on this side, are you taping it the right way? You see over here, there's your ground, and there's the 2 screws. Your ground goes up on top left, 1 screw here, 1 screw here, okay? You just match it identical. Cut. These wires go inside here, okay? We're just going to unscrew these guys, loosen them up, and we're going to pull these 2 wires out, and we're going to unscrew the ground and take that off. Lower your finger though. See? So we got the first one in already, okay? The second one's just going to go in here. Make sure you do the right side. There's a hole in the back here. Okay, we're going to push this through. Okay? And then I'm going to tighten the screw, and then I'm going to put the ground on the green side. Okay? Pushed in. If it's rusty, give it a little, sand it a little bit with some steel wool. And then now we're just going to tighten up the ground. That's good. Okay, so when you put it back in, make sure you're really careful that these wires don't get all crinked up, okay, and bent up. And you just slowly try to fit it back in, like about so, okay? So now we're ready to put the screws back in, and then we'll demo it. Okay, so we're almost ready to go, but before I put it all back together, John, okay, you got the breaker on? Okay, the breaker's back on, so we're going to test it. There's our light. So we're going to flip the switch, and there's our light. And then we'll put all the light back together, get to the house, and we'll put this all back together the way it's supposed to be. And that's how you change an exterior, very basic exterior light, and a light switch itself. And changing a faceplate, I'm sure you know how to do that. Okay, I had John turn the power back off just so we can finish this to be safe, okay? But it's all back into the wall, the way it's supposed to be, and now we're just going to install the plate. Alright, so this was our old existing exterior one, right? And wasn't working, so I wanted to go. This house is about 20 years old, so we figured, well, we'll replace this, and we'll replace this light switch. When I took this off, you could see it's pretty rusted out. But anyway, we wanted to put a new light switch up anyway, right? It's not a fancy one, but it's pretty basic. You want to get something that's pretty simple to do. Basically got the same setup as what you're putting up, unless you want to put like a sensor light up. We just wanted a regular light. So there's our new light. Okay, we just screwed it back, put it back on against the wall, and then here's our new switch, right? And then we put the plate back on. That's too close, John. And then there you go. Lights on. Simple job. Make sure you turn your breakers off. Make sure you turn your breakers off, and double check the breakers are off by turning the switch on. When you get it to work, make sure you turn the breaker off. Light goes off, the power supply is off. That's why we replaced this guy first. Okay. That way we could run this guy, make sure the light was on, and turn the power breaker off, and then we replaced the switch. So there you go. What we did today was very basic electrical. If you have any doubts, don't even mess with it. But really simple stuff. And basically all we use a little level at the end to level off our exterior exterior light we had. Use a little electrical tape. We used a screwdriver, standard screwdriver. We used a little faceplate screwdriver. These are great. These are great. Use some wire strippers. This was the old switch we changed. I used some pliers to crimp the ground wire back on underneath the screw. And I didn't even have to break out the big screw gun. I just used a little portable guy we have. So yeah, basic stuff. But once again, it is electrical. Any doubts, don't mess with it.